Am I the asshole for taking my dog into the grocery store for no more than 10 minutes?
Am I the asshole for smoking next to a pregnant woman at a concert? Am I the asshole for leaving a vacation I planned for my girlfriend after her friends came along? Hey, it's Carla.
And Caesar.
Welcome back to another episode of Carla and Caesar's Modern Life.
Episode 46.
46.
Hell yeah. This is a show where we talk about our lives and everything that we got going on. And then we get into your scenarios, which we'll be doing later on in the show.
Mm-hmm.
But first, I wanted to talk about myself a little bit, and then we'll talk about how you've been and all that stuff. But one of the biggest things that happened this week is that this past weekend, I've officially been podcasting for 8 years.
Whoa.
Yeah, on a consistent basis.
That's wild.
Yeah, 8 years ago, I did my first show on Hits 101 Radio, and then, that kind of started then I started the Rodriguez Show 2 months later, so yeah. 8
That's awesome.
years.
Did you ever think that you would be doing this still?
I didn't know when I was going to stop once I started, so I guess so.
Because you enjoyed it immediately, basically.
Yeah, and I was like, all right, well, how do I keep doing more things? And so that's how it started 8 years ago.
That's awesome.
And now, so when I was thinking about that, I also had recorded, this past Saturday, I recorded in 3 different cities in one day. One at the usual recording studio that I do all the client work with. Then I went to Fullerton for an event, which is the Potluck Presents. I've talked about it already on the show. And then that night we went to see Mondo at Tech the House.
Right.
So
that's awesome.
And all the places we did recording. So that's great. I did recordings, I guess. Not we. Who is we? I did.
That's awesome. We, Cesar Rodriguez Productions.
Yeah, there you go.
Not saying we, like me included.
You're included in that one, yeah, most of the time.
Maybe like for some of the additional clips you got from Mondo, but
there you go.
Yeah, I can't take any other credit because you definitely did your thing and it was cool. Yeah. And it's cool because you have like all the different tools and you can make different setups work. Yeah, and that's where I'm like, I wanted to be able to do it anywhere, and so I'm at the point where I definitely can. And I mean, hopefully if they have internet and power, but other than that, that's so cool.
And even if they don't, we can make it work just for like an hour.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Good for you.
What about you? What have you been up to with your life? Obviously, I've been in it, but tell the people.
So we haven't recorded in a couple weeks, right?
Yeah. We haven't done a podcast episode in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, we still obviously like had the reaction videos and stuff, but other than that, in the last couple weeks, my schedule changed for work. I was working mornings pretty consistently with shifts starting at either 5 or 6 a.m. And I just felt myself kind of getting burnt out or like being on the verge of getting burnt out. And also I got sick twice this year already. Once in January and once in February. So I was like, okay, I need to do something about this. And also like with what we talked about and like getting our schedules more in tune, more aligned so that we can see each other more. Yeah. It just works out better for me to not do mornings. And so this week was my second week of that. And it's wild how quickly my body like readjusted. Because you know how when you're waking up consistently early, your body will tend to wake up even on your day off. And so now like I'm staying up later and my body so quickly like adjusted to like being more, not so much of a night owl because I don't even like stay up that late, but I've been able to like stay asleep longer and I've just felt better overall. Nice. And just to have the option of being able to sleep in has been really nice.
Yeah, I mean, they say like the people that I've heard that do radio that I listen to, they say that you never get used to waking up at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's true. I mean, even no matter how like I guess how tough or easy the job tough or easy the job is, like you're still gonna wake up at 4. You know?
Yeah. And it was cool for a while, but I am excited to take back like my mornings because I feel like a morning routine can be so healing and like can just set up your day to like, I don't know, just set you off like in a, like get the right tone for the day going. Like if it's like on you, then it's like I can do those things that I have energy for that I may not have energy for after work. So like meditating and like journaling, which are both really important to me. Like I can do those more easily.
I feel that way when I have to work an evening night too, or like an evening shift, or it's like, okay, like I can try to make the most out of the first part of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do that, and then you go into work, you're like, wow, like I've accomplished so much today.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels good to do that.
Yeah. And regardless, like I'm going to be like tired at the end of the day anyway. So I might as well be at work and be tired than be home and like, I'm just going to pass out.
That's true.
So yeah, I'm excited to do more things and prioritize my mornings for myself.
Nice. Have you been doing any of the self-help stuff?
I have. I mean, I feel like I always am. Currently the book I'm really into is a book on human design, which we've kind of talked about on our own. I don't know if we've talked about it on the show, but
I've already mentioned it.
Yeah. It's super interesting because it's opening up my eyes to like what my strengths are, because for various reasons I feel like I've been not aligned in like my authenticity for a long time. And so like, because I've been doing life the way I have and like telling myself like the stories I've been telling myself for 30 plus years, I feel like it takes me a little longer to realize like what it is, like how it is that I do function the best, and just what my strengths are in general. But I feel like this book is really opening up my eyes to like what my strengths are just like inherently. And I'm excited to kind of tap into those things.
Nice.
We mentioned last episode that someone reached out about my throat and my sacral chakras being closed.
Oh, yeah.
And that definitely resonates because the places where I'm supposed to have strengths, I feel like I don't align, and so I see where I have work to do, which is like great because I'm constantly trying to work on myself. And so it's like, okay, like I know that I can be good at speaking. I just obviously need to like practice and like get down to the root of why it is that I feel like I can't express myself the way that I want to. And then same with my sacral chakra. I haven't gotten into that part totally yet, but I'm about to. And so far it seems like I have work there to do as well. And so I'm excited to see like what comes out of it. And yeah.
Nice. That's great. Yeah. It's so cool like how there's like so many different things you can learn. Like you're still learning every day about the human design part of it. You know?
Yeah. And I'm excited to like be able to share some of that information too with other people. Like while I'm looking at my chart, I also look at yours here and there. And like a lot of the things resonate.
So in terms of like my self-help stuff, I haven't really done much in terms of like learning about myself or even that deep. I've just been trying to work on time management. Now I make a list at the beginning of the week of like when I'm going to edit every project that I'm working on.
Nice.
And so now like it's like I think I mentioned it before.
I think you had to, right?
Yeah. At a certain point, it's like you have to be organized, and it's sometimes an issue because like with some of the clients I get, they have to send me some stuff, and it's hard sometimes to transfer those files because they are really big files. Like I even had to change the way I edit the Rodriguez show because at first because it wasn't getting the views that I wanted it to, but also because it's way easier to upload 3 30-minute videos than 1 hour and a half video to YouTube. So there's sometimes like you have an opportunity to edit that and it has to be done. But if you miss it, like, and with me, like too, if I miss it, I'm screwed because I'm like, I don't have time to export this later.
Oh, I see.
And so that's what has to be happening with the Rodriguez show where I'm like, I'm trying to get it done at a certain time. I have to get it done at least for it to air like at noon, the video in 4K, I'd have to get it done by 9 p.m. the day before.
Oh, wow.
Because of how long it takes to upload and then how long it takes to process.
That's if you keep the video together.
Yeah, if I kept the video together. And so I decided after 2 months of doing that I liked the presentation of it, but the technical limitations of it are just, they're not worth it.
Not worth it.
And yeah, so I'd rather have the video split up now in 3. So now it's published as a podcast, which is just me and Mondo talking. And then after that is his mix and then the interviews. And I think it makes it easier for a guest to be like an interview because then it's like they just link their video.
Yeah.
It helps us either way.
And either way, you have it as a playlist. So you could just play it in order and you wouldn't even notice.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I learned a lot more stuff about it. Like I learned how to add like we do like top tracks of the week. We do the TGIF, which is a new music highlight. And so I've added that like little sections of those songs. Before I didn't used to do that when it was just a podcast video. So there's still music in each video. Even the guests now, like if they have songs to play, like if there's no performance, then I'm gonna add 3 other songs at the end of the video that like as a sampler so people can hear their music.
That's cool.
Yeah. So either way, you're getting music on all 3 videos, and it's just a fun way to do it.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so now it's like it just helps to be more organized because now I'm stress free because I know when things are gonna
It's like automatic almost.
yeah. And it's tough. I mean, it's tough running a small business now. Like it's legit. Like there's way like people are negotiating with me and stuff like that. Like I want to be able to be helpful too because I understand like that it can be expensive to do a podcast. So like I try to help people out, but at the same time like I have to pay for my bills. You have to pay bills. I have to make money off of it. So
Right.
it's I'm realizing like how those like things are. It's like part of growing, like
Yeah.
learning all that stuff.
That's true.
And I'm gonna have to be more official now with the way I present things. I do invoices and everything for clients, but yeah, no, it's like it feels like this year I'm gonna have to really push it forward in a more official sense.
Nice. Yeah, good for you. And it's tough to like want to advocate for yourself and like speak up for yourself when like people are trying to negotiate because it's like you want to help them, but at the same time like you have to like know your own worth and like take into account that like this is your time and your time is valuable. So
yeah,
and I'm proud of you for doing that.
Thank you. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like it's not even anymore like, oh, like what else would I be doing today? It's like there's other things I could be doing. Like not I'm not saying it in a bad way. Like my time, I mean, everybody's time, like you should realize that it's valuable. So you need to be able to like, give it out in a way that's fair for you, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's crazy. I feel really good about where I'm at with that. And then my day job, shout out to that. I've just been killing it, obviously.
You have, yeah.
So easy. It's easy because it's like one of those things where it's a job, it's a retail job. If you put in the effort, then you're gonna have a good day and everything's gonna be easy. You just gotta try, and that's all you have to do is like be a polite person and try, and that's how you'll get through any job that's not a food service job.
Yeah. And it seems like they're super understanding too, and they make it like easy for you to be able to like be a real person and like be able to do like excel at the job,
Yeah.
Like it just seems like a good culture and just a good environment.
Yeah. So it's crazy when you just know one thing for the amount of time that I had one job for a very long time, and then I worked at the Macy's restaurant for like a couple months, and
before they closed down too.
Before they closed down, but I went back to gelato before.
Oh, okay.
But the thing is like the way that that Macy's one was run, like it was run a certain way, but nobody got along. Everybody was like miserable to be there.
That sucks.
And then even with my last the one that I worked at the longest, like it was like, oh, like it wasn't. Now that you see how it can be done, it's like, oh, it's just a refreshing way to work a job.
Yeah, like why did it ever have to be that hard?
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like it's run a certain way. It's just a different style, and this is just one that fits better for me.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So speaking of my job, I ran into an interesting situation. I heard of a story at my job of a 27-year-old girl who was dating a 19-year-old guy, and it was just such a weird age gap.
Did you interact with him?
I did. I interacted with the person, the 27-year-old, and that's the thing I wanted to discuss with you, right? Like, this person didn't seem mature for 27.
Oh, okay.
So mentally, they seem like 21, 22.
Okay.
So I don't know. Like, it's not like it's still weird though because it's such a big age gap.
Age difference.
Like, what do you think?
I mean, it is kind of weird because I feel like as a 27-year-old, like what can you have in common with a 19-year-old?
Mm-hmm.
But if you're mentally like if she seemed younger to you, like maybe they do get along, maybe they do have a lot in common, but I guess I would have to see it for myself, like in order to be like, oh, okay, like I can see it or not,
Yeah. I just feel like, I mean, I just feel like depending on the 27-year-old's life, like you're just in different places in your life too.
True.
Like I compare myself to the people that I work with, and they're in their like late, in their early 20s, and I'm like, this, I'm like in such a different way of thinking, you
Yeah.
know? So it's just like, how can you relate to somebody that young?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, I do think it's kind of weird. This happened, I don't know what it is, but this happened to my sister Alex, and it also happened to me. She recently was talking about how when she and Liz were like in their later 20s, like younger guys started hitting on them.
Mm-hmm.
And so they started saying they were 30.
Yeah.
And I had the same experience when I was like in my like second half of my 20s. Only like younger guys wanted to talk to me, and I just started saying like no, like I'm not. I just started like telling everybody that I'm 30.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know how old I was, but I feel like maybe it's a thing. Like maybe this is what happened to this girl. And she was like, well, because like if that's like the only attention you're getting, like maybe she just was like, all right, I'll give it a shot and see what happens.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Let us know if that's like a common occurrence, like if that's happened to you, to
Yeah, do you know
women in
anybody
your
dating, and then maybe
mid to late 20s.
But do you think that it's like somebody like, because you didn't look your age when you were that age?
That's true.
So I think, and then somebody that's a confident individual, like they're not gonna care, and it's like, so maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's not even just because how can they tell if you're older than them? You know,
That's
like
true.
you can't really tell that by looking at a person. Like some people, like they tell me
Yeah.
I don't look my age, you know, all the time.
Like Renee.
Shout out to Renee, Mondo's significant other. She was. This is a funny story.
It is
Mondo
funny
told us that
story.
Renee one day she was walking around her neighborhood, and this younger, looked like a high school kid, started hitting on her and was like, "Hey, what's up?" And then she's like, "I got a man," and he's like, "You got a man, not a boy."
Not a boy. That's the funniest story to me.
Not a boy.
You got a man, not a boy.
It's like, who would want a boy?
But it's because he thought she was a girl.
Yeah,
his age.
yeah.
So that's really funny.
Yeah, that's so. Yeah, yeah, I guess so. Because he thought, yeah,
Yeah,
because both of them they look really young. You look younger than their age too, Mondo and Renee.
they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't know. I wish I would have seen it for myself, but
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, they got to
I'll
the point
take your
where
word for it.
the girl showed us a picture of the guy, and he looked 15. So even then, I was like, "Did you? What's going on here?"
Yeah, and I mean, you never know. Like, there's older guys that take advantage of younger women. Like, it could also go the other way, I guess.
It can. It definitely can. It's just it's not. You don't hear about it as often.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe she just does it because she likes to see people's reactions. Like, why would she tell people at your job, like, "Hey, look, this is my
well,
you know?"
Well, that's the thing is, it's maybe that's like the conscience talking out loud. Like, like she just feels she's thinking about it all the time, how guilty she feels about it, and then she has to tell anybody that'll ask. But that's what I said. The person didn't seem like they were mature, so
that's a possibility.
that's a possibility.
Yeah. Are you ready to get into the scenarios?
Yes.
Let's do it.
This is the Who is the Asshole scenarios that we do 3 of them every single week. And if you'd like to submit your own, send us an email to advice@carlaandcaesar.com or hit us up on our Instagram. We should just do the Instagrams right now. Hit me up at I am Caesar Rod. Where can they follow you?
Carla Rod 89.
That's right. You can send us a DM there with your thing, and it can be anonymous if you don't really want to get into it. We just want to be able to read some of the people that watch it, watch our show.
Yeah. Yeah.
To
We'd
help them
love
out.
to help you out, discuss whatever situation.
All right, I'll read the first one here.
Okay.
Am I the asshole for taking my dog into the grocery store for no more than 10 minutes? I, a female 33, am a proud owner of Peanut, my Yorkshire Terrier. I took Peanut to the dog park today and PetSmart, in the same complex as the grocery store I go to. It was a warmer day and didn't want to leave Peanut in the car, so I leased him up and took him with me. I had planned on a quick trip, no more than 10 minutes. I went to the produce department to grab some stuff. A guy probably in his 30s, not an employee, rudely told me that pets aren't allowed in grocery stores and asked me why I had my dog with me. Before I could respond, he told me it was gross as fuck to have my dog in the produce section. I explained it was hot out and planned to be quick in the store. I apologized and said the most convenient thing for me was to come here with Peanut. He told me to fuck off and not be a lazy pet owner. Then he stormed off. It was a bit of a scene. Feeling uncomfortable, I just left. I thought it'd be no big deal. Peanut didn't misbehave or have an accident. I didn't think I was being an asshole. Oh my god.
Dang. Before this scenario, because I read the comments, I mean, what people, people's input on it. And I didn't realize it was such a big deal. But after reading like what people had to say, I was like, oh yeah, like you shouldn't have your dog at the store. Did you realize it was a big deal?
What was it? What were the comments?
Just that it's not like hygienic, and like if you think you're the exception and you're like, like 10 minutes, like I'm like, it'll be quick, like that gives other people permission to do the same.
Mm-hmm.
And so if like the more people that do it, like the more, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Just because like you think you're going to be quick, like, I don't know.
I agree with that. Yeah. And it's true. Like it's not hygienic. It's like the food is just out in the open in those sections. So
I work at a grocery store and I've seen dogs at my store that are clearly not service animals, because service animals are obviously allowed. And like it's never really bothered me, but one time one dog did bark at me and like almost like jump at me, and so it's like obviously you're not a service animal. And so that was, at the time I was like, it wasn't really that upsetting to me, but then like people were like checking on me like, are you okay? And I was like, oh yeah, like was kind of messed up, right? Like so that happened. But you know what really bothers me is like sometimes people will put their dogs in the carts.
No.
And that's messed up because like people put their food in the cart and like your dog walks around and
on the
like,
floor.
Yeah, and like
it's not like
poops.
That's what dogs do. Like,
and you don't like wipe a dog's butt after they poop. So it's like if they sit in the cart, like, like that's not hygienic at all.
Yeah.
And so that's one thing that for sure has always bothered me. But this question definitely made me realize, like, I think like you really shouldn't have your dogs in the grocery store.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And like that's a rule for a reason,
Yeah, I think your dog would have been fine, like you said, for 10 minutes. I mean, it's hot outside, but I think it would have been safe to leave the dog with the window down for a little bit. It sucks, but if you want to have the convenience of being able to take your dog with you, you're going to have to keep him off places that he's not allowed in.
Yeah, or even like keep him outside. Like sometimes people will bring their dogs, but then tie them up outside.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'd be scared to do that because what if they steal your dog? But I get it, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, you are the asshole. You can't be the exception to the rule. That's just how life is.
Mm-hmm.
What's the next one?
Am I the asshole for smoking next to a pregnant woman at a concert?
Oh, shit.
Yesterday, I went out to see a concert. The band I was seeing has a very heavy drug scene associated with it. I was in an assigned seat section and made small talk with the couple next to me while waiting. About 10 minutes into the set, I lit up a joint, and about 5 minutes after, the husband complained to me about his wife being pregnant. I told them both, it's a show. You came here, you can choose to leave. He tried to cause a scene, but nothing happened since I just ignored them both and danced. I told my roommate this earlier today, and they said I was being an asshole for smoking next to a pregnant lady. Am I the asshole here?
I mean, yeah. Like, I get it. You went to a concert, you wanted to smoke, but I mean, it's not okay. It's not like allowed to smoke in places, right?
Yeah.
Like,
but at the same time, I'm kind of like, well, if the band already has this association with them and you go, like, you can't really expect like for nobody around you to smoke. Like,
that's true.
You're bound to like run into something. I don't know. I feel like it's not really realistic to go to a concert where there will be like it will be present. Like it sucks that it happened to be right next to you, but like all you can do is ask, I guess, to like
yeah.
And you're right, like it's not allowed, but like people do it.
Yeah, and
And
it's like yeah, why would you put yourself in that situation? Like it sucks. Like does I mean yeah, like well, you can't do everything when you're pregnant. Like
yeah,
for your own sake, like you wouldn't go out to a bar when you're pregnant. Like why would you like or like a
there's no
casino,
smoking at bars.
well casinos or something. You know what I'm saying? Like a place
Yeah,
where like there's gonna be stuff like that because it's allowed or like because
yeah,
it's common to have that stuff there. Like why would you put yourself in that situation?
yeah,
So I guess that would apply to the concert as well. Like especially like you said, it's like if it was like you went to go see Cypress Hill, you went to go see fucking. What do you expect?
yeah.
That's funny.
So it's like I don't blame you, but maybe yeah, I mean I don't really think you're an asshole. People I don't know, at first like the consensus was yes, you're an asshole on the on Reddit.
Yeah.
But then the more I read, like the more people were making good points, and so this is a tough one for me because I can't say like, oh, you shouldn't have been lighting up at a concert because
Like I feel like if I would be okay with like if somebody wanted to do that, just do it. Like
yeah,
because this is a place where you would do that, the
yeah,
concert. Yeah.
yeah, and like what could they have done? Like they were trying to cause a scene. I wonder what they were doing, but like I'm sure I don't know. Like, could security even have done anything?
No. I mean, no, they could just tell them to put it out. But
Yeah,
yeah, I mean,
yeah.
yeah,
This
it's
one's
just one of
tough.
those things. Like you're pregnant, you can't ride roller coasters, and you can't go to concerts. Like, hey, just do what you gotta do for 9 months, and you'll have a kid, and then you'll be able to do those things again. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Like, so I mean, yeah, like,
yeah. I just for the sake of saying asshole or not, I'll say you could have maybe stepped aside and smoked away from the pregnant lady. But at the same time, like I see why you didn't. So I'm gonna say not an asshole.
no, me neither. I'm not gonna say he's an asshole either. That's what I meant to say.
Am I the asshole for leaving a vacation I planned for my girlfriend after her friends came along?
Oh shit.
My girlfriend, Sarah, is 29 and I, a male, am 28. We've been dating for 5 years and I wanted to go on vacation with her to celebrate. I planned the trip for several months. Of course, I shared my plans with her and decided on skiing and snowboarding and other winter activities in Colorado. The activities seemed perfect and I was looking forward to this for months because I wanted to propose to her at the time of the trip. 5 days before the trip, Sarah dropped the ball on me that she invited 2 of her friends to meet her there. I was upset because I wanted to spend one-on-one time with Sarah for our anniversary. I feel like it was plain and clear that this was a trip for just us. Even though I expressed my concerns, Sarah insisted that her friends already made plans to come and won't back out.
I decided to accept this because there was no way for me to force her friends not to come. I wish I fought more on this. I figured we could make some changes to our plans and I would still be able to propose to her privately. Sarah essentially blew me off for her friends and we didn't get any private time. After 3 days of being in second place, I decided to leave the trip and head home. I told Sarah why I was leaving and she was upset. She told her friends about my decision and I was ganged up on. They said we were all having a great time. She thinks I'm being a jerk for making her pick between her friends and me, even though her friends weren't invited in the first place. I never had personal issues with her friends prior to this trip. I never made Sarah pick between me or her friends because everyone needs friends outside of a relationship. I am at home now and thinking about everything. I had a day to myself. I have a day to myself before Sarah comes home, so at least I get to relax a bit. Sarah and her friends think I'm overreacting and think I ruined the trip. I think Sarah was disrespectful and rude to me by ruining the purpose of this trip and having her friends gang up on me. So am I the asshole for leaving a vacation I planned for my girlfriend after her friends came along?
Dang.
Mm-hmm.
And he planned it for months.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder why she didn't feel like she could bring it up earlier that she wanted friends to come along.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't blame him for leaving,
Yeah, like,
but at the same time, like I feel like he could have probably pulled the friends aside and been like, hey, this was my plan. Like, if maybe you guys could help me out here, I feel like they would have easily gotten behind the plan without ruining the surprise.
Especially if they didn't have problems beforehand.
Exactly. So now it's just like awkward because you left and they thought you were in the wrong. I mean, that's just unfortunate.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know. I was gonna say like maybe you didn't really want to propose if you like backed out so easily.
Yeah.
But no, because he spent a lot of time.
He even was able. He wanted to change the plan, but still like make it work so he could propose. So he was still willing to roll with it.
True.
And she still blew him off. And that's the thing, is that she blew him off.
That's messed up. Yeah. Especially like if you realize how long he was planning the trip and how much time and effort went into it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm gonna say you're not the asshole for leaving.
I agree. Yeah, I think if you, and she didn't even follow you back. She just stayed with her friends on the vacation.
I mean, her priorities are clear.
Yeah.
And I mean, she's not wrong for that. Maybe she was gonna say no anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. So I had read the update on this too, and
nice.
he broke up with her.
Oh dang!
Yeah.
From going to almost engaged to broken up.
Yeah.
Dang.
They didn't work out.
Yeah.
But it makes sense. I mean, it didn't seem like she was really into you that much. She liked her friends better.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna do?
Yeah. So they're probably better off.
Well, that was it. Our three scenarios for this week. Yeah, it definitely sparked some discussion. Yeah, I mean, I think it's commonplace. Smoke as much as you want, but just don't do it in front of people. But at the same time, like if you're going to a concert,
you can't expect there not to be any drugs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm pregnant, but I'm gonna go to EDC. Come on.
Yeah.
So that's it for this week. You can follow us on Instagram. Follow me at I am Caesar Rod. Where can they follow you?
Follow me on Carlella Rod at Carlella Rod 89.
And then the other show that I do at The Rodriguez Show. At The Rodriguez Show is the other radio show that I do every single Friday. And if you want me to produce your podcast, hit me up at Caesar Rod Podcast and Video.
And if you have any plant questions or need any help with your plants, even if you need a plant rehomed, I have a really good spot for plants with lots of sunshine at the yoga studio where I take care of the plants. But yeah, hit me up on Plant Parenthood OC on Instagram.
All right, guys, we'll see you next time. Remember to take care of yourself and each other.
Thank you for watching. Bye.